Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to focus on the information that you find in Chapter 3, Section 3.4 of your textbook, multiplying decimals. So there are a few steps that you need to keep in mind when you're multiplying decimals. One of the first things that I'd like to tell students when it comes to multiplication, a lot of the times you're not going to worry about your decimal point until you've done all your multiplication. So basically, you just disregard the decimals at first. Do your multiplication. Once you've done that, then you're going to count the number of decimal places that you have, and then you're going to insert your decimal point based on the number of places that you have. One of the things to keep in mind if you're doing your multiplication and it turns out that you basically don't have any more numbers, you can insert zeros so that you'll be able to insert your decimal point in the correct place where it goes. So let's look at a couple sample problems. We're going to look at this one right here. So let's go ahead. Don't worry about the decimals. We're just going to multiply. So we get 3 times 4 is 12. Carry our 1. 3 times 0, of course, is 0. But we add 1 to 0. We get our 1. And then we have 3 times 3 is 9. So then our answer here, we have 912. Now we go ahead and count the number of places that we have with our decimal. So here we have 1, 2, 3. So technically we have 3 decimal places. So starting here at the far right of the number, we're going to go ahead and we're going to move to the left 3 places. So 1, 2, 3 decimal point. So our answer is actually 912 thousandths. So let's look at our next one here that we have. So we're multiplying 6 1/10 times 5. So we go ahead, we multiply our 5 times 1 gives us 5. We have our 5 times 6, which is 30. This is a whole number, so we have no decimal places that we have to worry about. Here, we just have 1. So we're going to start here, move 1 place, and our decimal point is going to go right there. So our answer to this problem is 30 5/10. So let's go ahead, we're going to look at our next problem here. So let's go ahead again. We're not worried about where the decimal places are. We're just going to multiply. So we get 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 2 is 2, and then we have 0 and 0. Then we'll go ahead, move over. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. We have 0 and 0. So then we're going to go ahead. We have 1, 4, 4, 0, and 0. So now we've got to count our decimal places. Let's go ahead and count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when we count here, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because this is the end of our problem. We actually don't have enough zeros. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to add a 0 to this problem so that we have 6 decimal places that are needed. So, like I said, we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When we multiplied, we only had the 5, so we had to go ahead and add another 0 here. One other point that I wanted to talk about when it comes to multiplying decimals, there's a little bit of a shortcut when you're multiplying by powers of 10. What I mean by powers of 10s, multiplying by tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. Actually, there's an easy way to do this. Basically, what you do is you count the number of zeros that you're multiplying by, and you move that number you move the decimal point that number of places to the right. So let's take a look at this. We're multiplying 64 thousandths by 10. So because there's only 1 0 here, we move the decimal point just 1 place. So then our answer becomes 0.64. So then what happens when we go ahead and we're looking and multiplying it by 100? We're going to go ahead and move 1, 2 places. Now our answer becomes 6.4. So then let's go ahead. If we're multiplying by thousands, we move it 3 places, 1, 2, 3. So then our answer then becomes 64. Then finally, in our last one, we're going to go ahead and move it 4 places, 1, 2, 3. We actually have to add a 0 here. So we have a 0 right here, making it 4 places, which makes our answer 640. So that's how we go ahead and we multiply decimals.